China's historic cultural districts have developed along a very interesting trajectory over the years, and from the perspective of someone who has spent a long time walking through different cities, you start to notice a pattern where preservation and commercialization are constantly intertwined, gradually shaping a highly standardized yet slightly differentiated cultural consumption space. Most cities emphasize their historical depth, so elements like towers, arches, gates, and traditional stages have become almost universal symbols, serving as ceremonial thresholds that quickly shift visitors from a modern urban mindset into a curated sense of the past, though this transition is often designed rather than organically formed. Once inside, pedestrian streets typically take over with antique-style paving, unified facades, wooden or wood-like structures, gray tiles, red lanterns, and standardized signage, creating a safe and easily replicable aesthetic. This aesthetic works because it is broadly accessible, but over time it weakens the subtle distinctions that should exist between different regions. Further along, boutique guesthouses become a key component, especially those modeled after courtyard houses or classical southern gardens. These spaces emphasize a lived experience narrative, allowing visitors to feel as if they are briefly residing within history, while in reality the interiors are fully modernized, reflecting that the core logic of these districts is not restoration but adaptation to contemporary consumption. Former residences of notable figures are another recurring feature, whether associated with writers, merchants, or local elites. These sites are curated into exhibition spaces with panels and reconstructed interiors that add cultural depth. Yet in practice, they tend to attract shorter visits as tourists are more drawn to high-frequency consumption scenes. And speaking of those, food streets and snack streets have become the true core of most historic districts, showing a high degree of similarity across the country regardless of region. Items like stinky tofu, Xinjiang-style lamb skewers, grilled oysters, and various fried snacks appear almost everywhere. These foods are not always rooted in local culinary traditions, but their strong aromas, visible preparation processes, and relatively low prices make them highly effective at foot traffic, gradually replacing what should have been more localized food culture with a standardized national snack system. At the same time, craft and souvenir stalls densely occupy the main circulation paths, selling bracelets, jade pieces, and various antique-style decorations, visually reinforcing the cultural atmosphere, but often lacking uniqueness, as many of these products are nearly identical across different cities, reflecting centralized supply chains and standardized tourism. Retail, however, when looking at specific cities, meaningful distinctions still emerge. For example, Beijing emphasizes spatial order and ritual structure in its historic areas, with hutongs and courtyard houses originally designed for residential life rather than commerce, creating a subtle tension when tourism is introduced, while Xi'an projects a strong ancient capital identity with city walls and tradition. Urban layouts providing a deep historical narrative, yet in places like Muslim Quarter, the intense sensory experience of food often overtakes that narrative. Then in Chengdu, the rhythm shifts noticeably. Districts such as Huangjai alleys highlight lifestyle spectacle, integrating tea house culture, slow-paced social interaction, and everyday urban life, so even without heavy commercialization, there remains a sense of pause and comfort. In Suzhou relies heavily on water systems and classical garden aesthetics, with areas like Beijing Road offering a more delicate spatial experience, so where commerce feels embedded rather than dominant, maintaining a relatively restrained atmosphere. And finally, Lijiang represents a model where tourism attributes are fully maximized. The old town layout is ideal for airing, but nightlife, guesthouses, and emotional ambiance have become the primary focus, shifting cultural expression toward mood and experience. These examples, a dual-layer structure becomes evident in China's major tourist districts. One layer consists of symbolic historical representation through architecture, spatial organization, and storytelling, while the Her is a highly market-driven consumption system centered on food, lodging, and retail. Together, they create a lively, almost theatrical sense of everyday life that makes these places attractive and accessible, yet at the same time gradually dilutes their original cultural distinctiveness. From a regional perspective, northern districts tend to emphasize order and openness, while southern ones highlight intricacy and spatial layering, but these differences are increasingly softened by uniform commercial logic that prioritizes visitor flow and spending efficiency over original spatial complexity. Why? From the visitor's point of view, most people are seeking a space between authenticity and imagination, where historical visuals coexist with convivial consumption, and the market continuously adapts to meet this hybrid expectation, leading to the current model of historic shells filled with modern commercial content. The similarity seen across different cities is not simply imitation, but the result of replicating proven success models. 1. A particular format demonstrates stable visitor attraction and revenue generation. It is quickly adopted elsewhere, improving short-term development efficiency while gradually narrowing cultural diversity at a deeper level. This reflects a broader shift in cultural tourism from display-oriented to consumption-oriented systems, where the focus has moved from storytelling to encouraging longer stays and higher spending, and spaces are constantly adjusted to meet these goals. Under this trend, the districts that retain stronger identity are often those that still preserve fragments of real life beyond tourism, such as local residents continuing to live there or everyday. Why businesses that do not solely cater to visitors? These elements introduce a layer of authenticity beyond the constructed atmosphere, preventing face from becoming purely stage-like. So in summary, China's historic cultural districts are evolving into a standardized cultural consumption template, visually traditional, experientially lively, and structurally similar, while their true uniqueness increasingly resides in the subtle details that have not been fully commercialized, which may also point to the direction these places need to reconsider if they aim to sustain long-term cultural appeal.